What are you waiting for? You're not in your way anymore. So live your life out loud. Live your life out loud. What are you waiting for? You're not in your way anymore. So live your life out loud. Out loud. I am Adam Phillip Qualls from Germantown, Maryland. All of me, every piece, all my being I give, my heart, my soul, my mind, my life is yours. Music was everything, you know, that I sang before I could talk. Growing up was interesting for me because I grew up in a family that was big and living in a very small house. So we had to definitely work around some things. Me, my two older sisters who were from a previous marriage with my parents, Amber and Corinne, and I was the firstborn between my parents. And then they had two younger children, which were Dominique, my younger sister, and Taylor, my youngest. It was always very close quarters growing up. We all had to sleep in the same room. Corinne left when we got a little bit older, but for the most part, it still was the four of us living in the same room. My parents had just given their lives to God. I think I was like 3 or 4 years old when we started going to church. I was listening to what my parents were listening to, jazz and Anita Baker and Luther Vandross and stuff like that, old school. Music was a major part of my life. So yeah, that was like the biggest thing for me. Well, my parents separated and had a big influence on my life. Because at that time, that affected the way that I saw relationships. That was, you know, my first witnessing of any type of relationship. So that really did have an effect in my life as far as different friends, people that I had met. You know, nobody was really around for very long. They'd be around for a while, but either I distanced myself or they distanced themselves. But I really wasn't the type of person to know how to handle a long, you know, lasting relationship of any kind, friendship, dating. And then in the music, that bled over. I allowed my music to always imitate my life. So when I would sing or sing songs, there was always a deeper feeling when I sang out of my pain than if I sang out of anything else. Although I didn't really like going there a lot, but I would be able to sing out of that and there would be more depth in there. I thought about my listeners a lot when I was making music because I knew that I wanted my music to have an effect in people's lives. Music that people grow up with, they live with, it becomes a part of their life. And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to allow people to grow up with my music. I went to Watkins Mill High School, and it was probably one of the best things that happened to me because I was in a school where arts was a big deal for them. And like in middle school, I used to fight. I used to fight everyone because I just had this anger inside of myself about my parents breaking up, the whole situation. So when I had went to Watkins Mill, they channeled that energy, that feeling into something positive. Basically, it got around the school that I could sing. Everybody knew. And this group of people took a liking to me. We were all rappers. And we were going to the studio. This is the first time I'd ever been introduced to a studio. It was 2003. And when I went to the studio, I was just like, whoa, like this is amazing. I started singing and we just started making music on the spot. came out with a little CD. I was so excited. I had the cover for it. I had like everything. Songs, it was like 17 songs. But it was a good try. It was a good first thing to put out there. For a long time when I was doing the music, I really felt this feeling of being loved and feeling like I was wanted and I was needed. And when my parents had broke up, that feeling went away. I felt that when I would get on stage. I felt that love when I would be around people and they say, wow, you can sing. And it just started something in my heart for chasing after the music. So I started networking with people that I knew were doing music. Got tangled up with some of the wrong type of people coming up, because you have to make your rounds. You have to pay your dues before you get into anything. So my rounds was getting around people who really weren't going anywhere. And what I didn't notice is the industry is such a cutthroat business that it's cutthroat for a lot of different reasons, but it's cutthroat because, you know, there's a lot of people in the industry who will see your talent and be intimidated. And they'll say, okay, I want you to stay here with us, and they'll make you smaller than what you are. They'll put you in a box that's smaller than what you are so that you never aspire to be anything better than they are. So, and it happened a couple of times. But I was paying attention when I was doing the music, because I was like, I have to figure out this business fast. It's forever changing. It's forever all loopholes and different terms and stuff in the business side of it. And what I found out very quickly that I didn't know before is it's 90% business, probably even more, and a very small percentage of it is music. Music is just a product. I had decided to go solo. I'd worked with a couple people, recorded with them, so I had a little bit of new songs. This was like 07. A manager found me. His name is Darius Moore, and work ethic was impeccable. I mean, is one of the best things that could have happened to my career at that time. And then one evening, I had went over to my manager's grandmother's house. I found out that that Darius's cousin was Steve Francis, the one who plays basketball. But he got a distribution deal with a big label. His grandmother was like, you have to sing for him. You got to sing something. So I sang, and Steve was like, wow. And his friend was very much intrigued. He was like, man, we really have to figure out who this kid is and like get him with what we're trying to do, the movement. They said, you know, we're gonna get some stuff together. We're gonna get in touch with you. It was great. But me and Darius was still on the networking on our own type tip. We had still started making more connections, doing different things with different labels, different people in the industry. Monica, just writing, songwriting and stuff like that. Monica, Team Blackout, I actually got to meet them. If you don't know who they are, from Rev Run's house, his son had his own rap group, and so I started dealing with them. I remember one really big producer, he wanted to sign me. So I was getting a lot of attention from different labels, different industry people, and I was starting to make my rounds as far as getting into the inner circle of that small group of people. Steve Francis had finally reached out to us again, decided he wanted to sign me. Flew me out to Houston, we did a couple videos, did some photo shoots, and he really was ready to like invest money in me and everything. He wanted to get me under contract first. It was all great. I mean, anything I wanted, we bought. New laptop, new clothes, shoes, everything. I mean, meeting celebrities left and right, nice cars, big houses, yachts. I mean, I'm talking about, it was from here to like in 2.5. I was going back and forth from everywhere to my house, and my mom was knowing it was pretty much a big deal, friends and everything. And I started really seeking after God, just to find out what it is He wanted from me. And as I was seeking after God, I started to notice that God wanted me to stop as far as what I was doing with the music. And that scared me, because I'm like, this is my life. Like, I'm making money doing this. This is how I'm gonna survive. This is how I'm gonna live, and this is my dream. My thing was always art and music and expressing myself that way. So I just didn't know any other reality. And at that time, music was my God. I mean, that is the most honest statement I could have ever made, is music was my God. And so I was really kind of troubled about that. In that time, I was realizing what was going on with me. I started to get a little bit of an ego, but I also was understanding that something was wrong. And it was the love that I was saying before that felt complete, and my heart made me feel complete when I would get on stage. I realized it was so superficial, and it was very much one-dimensional instead of being something that was so real and rich and true in my heart. I felt empty. Like, I felt so low on the inside, but I felt like I should be feeling happy because this is what I wanted. I went on YouTube, and Kanye West was saying, you know, I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy meal, but at least I got a couple toys like a Happy Meal. And a lot of people would think that that's just rap. But what people don't know about music is, like I said, it's an expression. It's a confession. When I saw that, it shook me to my core. I remember I went into the bathroom and I pleaded with the Lord. I cried out to the Lord for a long time, just in the bathroom, crying out to God, asking Him for forgiveness, asking Him to take me, to save me, release me from what I'm doing, Lord, like save me. I'd been praying for God to figure out a way for me to escape, because I'll tell you this, there were people underneath me when I was on my way to being signed. When I declined the deal, I unemployed all of these people. So you can imagine how heavy that was on me. So the next day I get up, and I remember I went to a Bible study prior. They gave me a bunch of DVDs. So the fact that I got to this one DVD was just like the Holy Spirit completely. But I had pulled out this one DVD, and it was I want to say John Walker, and it's called The Shocking Message. Either way, if you put in The Shocking Message on YouTube, you'll see what I'm talking about. When I put it in there, I listened to what he was saying, and the message that he said was so powerful. What he said was, a lot of people are Christian. A lot of people are sitting in the front pew of church and saying, you know what, I said a little prayer one time, a long time ago, I gave my life to God, but when you look at them and you look at the world, there's no difference. And when he said that, I was looking at myself. There's no difference. I thought about it, I said, what separates me from someone who doesn't know God? I sent the video to Darius, and when I sent it to him, the only thing he wrote back was, I get it, I understand. I guess that this means we're not doing this anymore. And I said, yeah, that's it. He broke the news to everybody. Oh, people were mad. Steve Francis wanted to take everything back that he could take back. He took and this is not to badmouth Steve. Steve is a good person in his heart. He really is. He got me a lot of nice stuff. So he took back all of the stuff that he could take back that he gave me. My mom was pissed. My mom told me, she said, don't you know everything was riding on your back? Everything was riding on your shoulders for you to make it. I was like, whoa. And she told me it wasn't God who told me to stop. She told me it was the devil. She said that. And that's not to, I'm not at all thinking of my mom in a bad way for that. That's just where she is in her walk with God. But I knew what God was saying to me. Everything went downhill. Everything. I mean, and all I saw it as was God taking what was given to me that was not good for me. There was an area of removal. Things had to be removed that I had built up to make who I was at that point. Things had to be removed so God could recreate and rebuild me. Because I strongly believe that when God does something, He's a creator. He's not going to add to what you did. He's going to take away the old blueprint. He's going to take it all the way down to the ground, and He's going to start over. And that's what He did to me. He did that to my heart. He did that to the things around me. My name is Phillip Qualls. I've been there and I've done that.